Did you know Cleopatra once snuck herself into a palace rolled up inside a rug just to meet Julius Caesar face to face? That's not just the stuff of Hollywood legend. It's real history, and it's just one example of how Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt, used wit, courage, and masterful strategy to influence the fate of empires. So why does she so often get reduced to just her beauty? Let's rewind. Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian by blood. She was Macedonian Greek, a descendant of Ptolemy I, one of Alexander the Great's generals. But unlike her predecessors, she fully embraced Egyptian culture. She was the first in her dynasty to actually learn the Egyptian language. In fact, she spoke at least 9 languages. 9. That's not seduction. That's statecraft. Her reign began at just 18 years old, alongside her 10-year-old brother-husband, Ptolemy III. Yeah, ancient politics were wild. But Cleopatra was quickly pushed out of power and forced into exile. Did she give up? No. She aligned herself with Julius Caesar, not through seduction alone, but through calculated diplomacy. When she entered Caesar's quarters, hidden in that now famous rug, she wasn't trying to charm him. She was making a power play. And it worked. Caesar backed her claim to the throne, defeating her brother's forces. Cleopatra was reinstated as ruler and went on to stabilize Egypt's economy, expand its influence, and even introduce new administrative reforms. That doesn't happen by fluttering eyelashes. That's strategic genius. Later, she met Mark Antony, not just as a lover, but as a political equal. Their alliance wasn't just romantic. It was a geopolitical move to counter the growing power of Octavian in Rome. Together, Cleopatra and Antony commanded massive territories, armies, and fleets. But history, written by the victors, paints her as a manipulative temptress. Let's pause for a second. If you're enjoying this deep dive into historical truth over historical gossip, consider subscribing to the channel. We're here to unpack myths, not recycle them, and your support helps us keep asking the right questions. Back to Cleopatra. The ancient Roman historian Dio Cassius described her as a woman of surpassing beauty. But even he admitted her real power lay in her voice and intellect. She hosted philosophical salons. She commanded the loyalty of generals. She held her kingdom together during famine and war. She even negotiated trade deals that boosted Egypt's wealth dramatically. So, where does the seductress image come from? Largely from Roman propaganda. Octavian, later Augustus Caesar, needed to demonize his rivals. So he turned Cleopatra into the foreign temptress who corrupted Roman men. Shakespeare later amplified that narrative in Antony and Cleopatra, turning her into a dramatic, love-struck queen. That's how she's remembered by many today. But that version is fiction. The real Cleopatra was far more dangerous than any seductress. She was a ruler who matched intellect with ambition, a multilingual scholar, a naval commander, a queen who resisted the might of Rome not just with charisma, but with a deeply strategic mind. Even in death, she made a statement. As Octavian's troops closed in, she arranged her own suicide, likely by poison, not a snakebite, despite the myth, to deny Rome the spectacle of a captured queen. She made sure her legacy would remain powerful, elusive, and untamed. In the end, Cleopatra wasn't just trying to win hearts, she was playing to win empires. So next time someone calls her just a seductress, remember this: the greatest empires in the world feared her, not because of her beauty, but because of her mind. If this changed how you see Cleopatra, give it a like, drop a comment sharing your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video with someone who still thinks history is boring. Because when you dig deeper, you find the truth is more fascinating than fiction. Thanks for watching.